1. Solar, though, the fan favorite by many because he speaks great English. He's won 2 international titles, 2 DreamHacks in front of foreign crowds. sOs on the defending Pro League team, the defending Pro League champion team. We'll see if he can take this series. Would be a big upset.
Yeah, definitely would be. But if we see more builds like he showed us in game number 1, he's definitely got a big opportunity to take it. Guys, we're going to jump into game number 2 now on Frost between sOs and Solar. Here we are on Frost, one of our 4-player maps in the pool. And up in the top left, the Zerg player, he is Solar.
And to the bottom left, in blue, it is sOs, defending BlizzCon champion. 2-time winner. Him not being at BlizzCon is absolutely insane. Cannot be overstated how crazy that circumstance is, but he lost to Patience, he's not going to Keswick Cup, he lost to Bjorn. And that's basically all you have to say. I think he is hungry right now to win this because it's one of his last opportunities for the year, unless it was announced while I was asleep or something that he's going to Home Story Cup. I know a lot of other Korean players are, but I don't think he is one of them.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I saw Rogue was announced.
Yeah. His teammate. Perhaps he doesn't want to go. We don't know, but it's just when you think about opportunities for money for the rest of the year. Some guy out there's like, well, he already won 2 BlizzCons and he won the 100 grand. That's why he's $1. He doesn't need more money. He doesn't care. I'm like, no, he cares. He cares a lot. That's why he's $. You think he has passion for the game? He's in it for the money.
Oh man, the trash talk is real from Wolf today.
Yeah. No, here's the wall off. Another Gate Nexus core.
And sOs gets unlucky with the scout here. But it looks like maybe he saw the Overlord because he's going to the top left. Or maybe he just wants to know whether or not he's cross-spawn or vertical here.
No, sOs is known for his adept play in this matchup. The Zealot game we saw last game is kind of what he does with adepts normally, but he's added a new flavor to it with the Zealots. Obviously a little bit cheaper. We've seen variations of builds like that in the past. There was a build called the Korean 4-gate you would do in PvP where you pull your probes out of gas and only use minerals. He didn't do something like that, but he was set up for a follow-up in heavy tech with all the gas he had left over. But I was going to say, this is a map where I feel Oracles is the way we're going to see him open with these positions as well. And here's the Starleague, I said it twice, the Starleague, the Stargate coming up. It's like the GSL gate coming up.
GSL gate. Sounds like some kind of scandal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? GSL gate 2017 coming to you guys next year.
Yeah.
It's on the way.
The keyboard was deflated.
Who's like playing on one of those keyboards you roll? You know, it's like, those are illegal.
He's playing on like a Windows tablet keyboard, like the one that's like part of the cover for the tablet used as a keyboard, but it was deflated. It's GSL gate. It is going to be the Oracle first. He's not going to go straight into Phoenixes, which is very sOs-esque. Has some of the best Oracle control. Yeah. He and Hero, I'd say, probably, really showing how to use these Oracles. Yes, those are the close patches.
Void Ray follow-up here.
That's interesting. Now, the Void Ray may just simply be a countermeasure to Ling and Baneling drops. We'll see how that comes out here. We're going to see this Overlord may scout, in fact, that Void Ray.
There was someone that went mass Void Rays against a Terran. It was on Overgrowth. I forget exactly which game that was.
Oh, that's right. I've also lost it.
That was in the... I think that might have been sOs versus TY, actually. So, we'll see if he wants to bring out the mass Void Ray against Zerg.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be Phoenixes now that he's finished the Void, but he hasn't started anything else yet.
Second Stargate.
Oh, what? This is SOS. We talked about how this guy is the guy to bring builds that you've never seen before into a tournament like this.
Yeah.
When he doesn't play for a few weeks, when there's time off, you don't really know how he's practicing. He's not on televised matches. Now, before anyone says Roddy, it could be Carriers. That's my dream. We'll see. It probably will be Tempest.
No one say Roddy yet. Wait, please.
It's probably Tempest.
Just a minute.
But I would love to see Carriers just because that unit does exist still. It wasn't removed from the game, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it before. He did it against Protoss. I think it was stats on
All right,
New Gettysburg.
our observer is trolling. He's trying to hide the production tab to build the suspense. I want to know what it's making. It is Carriers! 2 Carriers on the way. I said hold your Roddies, okay? 2 Carriers. And everyone needs to know about this right now. If this becomes a viable build, I will lose my mind. Now, let's talk about the Carrier as a unit. Let's describe it, because if you've been watching Korean StarCraft for 4 years, you still might not know what this unit does or how it operates. It's a unit that produces something called the Interceptor, which will fly around like a mosquito, but it does a high amount of damage when you have enough of these interceptors. It costs money, though. And if you have enough interceptors, you can destroy structures very quickly, and you can fight with them. But high damage attack speed units like Hydralisk, he scouts it. High damage units like Hydralisk, which he's making 4 of right now, will knock them out of the sky very quickly. So you
just
have
mass
to be careful.
Hydras. It's so good against Carriers. You snipe all the interceptors so fast, and then the Carriers are basically useless, and they're so slow that you get underneath them as well. So.
And if you, for example, are in good position, the Carriers are very slow. You can also snipe the Carriers themselves, which do not have a lot of health for their cost. So it's this unit that was used in Brood War in situations like this, where you hide it, you build a few, you force the counter, then you switch into another unit. It's used against Terran mostly, and it's kind of always a hidden tech where you don't use it as a standard unit comp. So in this case, though, he is massing it, and he's also shown it, so he's getting +1 attack, so he thinks this is a viable comp even when scouted. That's what he's telling us right now.
He said he was going to have fun today. You know, he in his interview after the Archon match, he's like, yeah, I'm just coming down here to have some fun, you know, show some cool builds, and this is one of them. He showed a cool build in game number 1, and we're seeing the same thing here in game number 2. Not the same build, but, you know, another fun build at least.
Now, the leash range and the way that Carriers operate in StarCraft 2 is very different. You can actually just send your interceptors out permanently to a location, then rebuild them, and they're basically sacrificed, but they will do damage during that duration. Unfortunately, like you mentioned, the Hydras kill them so quickly that it's not as effective in this case. I think you wanted it to be 2 drone kills only. And instead of attacking the Carriers directly, he's just going to attack this third base. This Mothership Core taking a lot of damage. He's not moving it to the high ground. Vision was maintained. The Mothership Core is now dead. And I don't think SOS has enough Carriers yet to actually, you know, really start defending this base. I think he's just simply going to lose it.
Even the 2 Carriers, they weren't in position. He's got 4 now, so Solar does have to be careful, but he's done so much damage already. He's going to leave the Lings here to kill the Nexus. He's killed 21 probes, too. And now he can just kite these Carriers in interceptors. Even the Queen's coming over.
Yeah,
want a piece of the action.
These Carriers don't make interceptors for free. They cost 25 minerals a pop, so that's 100 minerals in total per interceptor for 4 Carriers. So when you lost your third base and you need to drop 400 minerals on the Nexus, the 400 minerals you spend on the interceptor suddenly feels a lot less useful. You can see even they kill things very quickly, but not quickly enough to stop transfuses from going off. And is he kill the Carriers? No, but he killed all the interceptors, which is basically burning money. And so now SOS will have to retreat to rebuild interceptors, and that's going to take him time. This game is essentially already lost, and or depending on your perspective, won for Solar. He's going to kill the Cybernetics Core here very shortly as well. And I mean, it's basically the end. I mean, what?
Yeah, I mean, he's just building interceptors too slowly, and there's enough stuff on the ground to kill the interceptors fast enough, especially with the help of the Queens. Now some Adepts getting into the mix, really helping out against those Hydras, but the follow-up reinforcements of Solar making their way across.
Now, the real talk, though, I mean, even if he stops the Zerg push and the Korean commentators scream and go crazy, what is the next step? Because what happens here now is he kills 3 queens, but he can't even afford interceptor max on these carriers. 5 at a time coming out, 125 minerals a cycle. Solar has a 4th base. If he tries to go kill it, it's going to take him so long. By the time he gets there, there'll be too many Hydras. If he tries to take a 3rd base, it's too slow.
Yeah, there's already too many Hydras now. He's got 22, 6 more on the way. He's going to be at 28. Can rebuild those queens. And as you said, you know, even though he holds the push, it's like so far behind. Solar's just going to continuously check for a 3rd base, which, you know, in fact, the Protoss needs those 2 extra gases to produce these amount of carriers off of 3-star gates. He's just going to check and make sure it's not there, and then just continue on. And as we said before, SOS can't just move across the map and kill Solar either.
I mean, he might as well be bringing his probes with this push, because if this doesn't win him the game, he loses. Now, cutting these Hydras off here from the rest of the spawning Hydras is a good idea. Let's see if he can actually win this fight. The Adepts are, like you said, very, very helpful here. More Hydras coming from the top, and you can see there's no interceptors left now, basically. What? He's got 1 carrier, has 5, well, had 5, and that's it.
Yeah, they all get sniped out of the air. And that was the one fight that SOS had to try to take. Now he's doing, you know, a bit of harass damage here, but he can't kill that 4th base. And Solar is just going to move across the map and come into the natural map.
I think the viability of this build depends on... Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. If you get in the right position, you can snipe the carriers. I think the viability of this build really depends on whether it gets scouted or not. And it was scouted very early on when he only had his first 2 carriers. The counter was made. And that's all you got to do. If hidden, I think this build could have done a lot more. GG.
Yes, GG. Solar ties it up 1-1. There you have it. A game that we expected more of here. And SOS kind of smiling to himself. Perhaps a little bit embarrassed his build didn't work, but it was a good idea. You know, I'd like to see it again, or you know, see it practiced out and see how it works out in different situations. But as you said, Solar's just so meticulous about his scouting. He always sends in the speed Overseer to make sure, because there's basically no way you're denying that. Even if maybe if you've got like 5 Phoenixes in the right place, maybe then you can snipe it out of the air, but that's about it. You know? So he's always going to see what the Protoss is doing.
I think the real crux of this is the Void Ray. You have to use that to keep the Overlords away. Like you said, it's almost impossible to stop the Overseer. If you get 4 carriers out unscouted, or the first 2 carriers get there with the Void Ray before, and when you see it when it gets there, and then you make your Hydralist Den, which he already had a Hydralist Den. He was probably planning on doing some Hydra-oriented build, so that was lucky in itself.
Yeah.
But if you get there, you snipe the 3rd base, you start killing queens, you take your 3rd, you secure that, you can take a 4th base, and suddenly 2 carriers becomes 4, 4 carriers becomes 6, and you kind of just snowball the game in your favor.
And with the gas of the 3rd base, you can actually support the 3 Stargates, so now you're getting 3 at a time, and you know, once you get up to 6, as you're saying, then it's like, well, the Zerg has to sit back and amass a huge amount of Hydras to even challenge that, or perhaps go into something else like Corruptors, you know, Vipers, go into that kind of tech.
I feel like it was very... it's just one of those compositions that, you know, you scout it or you don't, and if you do, you build the right units, you defend. It's like that straightforward. It's that textbook of a game. It's like SOS, like, didn't micro his carriers. One guy's like, I don't know if he micro his carriers right. No, it's not how it is. It's just Hydras knock Interceptors out of the sky. I don't even know how many hit points Interceptor has. 2, maybe? Like, I don't know. It feels like that, right? Like,
it's very low.
It's very, very low.
And maybe the other thing that SOS, you know, Solar didn't give him any time. The second he saw that, he immediately attacked. Maybe if he had his 3rd base with like 3 cannons or a lot more pylons, and he could have like triple overcharged and bought some more time for the 2 carriers that came out right after the 3rd base died, maybe then he holds, right? Because then you can get it behind your Nexus. You have the Mothership Core there overcharging, buying yourself some time. And even on a map like Frost, where 3rd base to 3rd base, or even main to 3rd base is just so far away, it's still not enough time. He needs to get more pylons out, more cannons out, and then maybe he could have defended.
Absolutely, and I mean, that's... I think we can't really analyze this any further, so let's go into game